Happy New Year!
Happy New
Absolute mayhem! This is the Chinese Lunar New Year line dance starting on the eve of the Chinese Lunar Year, starting the annual Chinese Lunar Year celebration here in this episode. Hello, welcome. I'm Greg Granger.
Also in this episode, the best of 2 weeks of New Year celebrations in Australia. Dragon boat races. Traditional family dinners. Temple blessings. Orchestral concerts. All ahead as we learn the full significance of Chinese Lunar New Year.
The Chinese New Year is such a big event, a significant event for the Chinese people. Decorations everywhere. There's going to be 2 weeks of heady celebrations coming up.
In the weeks leading up to this auspicious Chinese Lunar New Year, markets like Paddy's are filling with merchandise for people getting ready to celebrate.
So, Tao, how are the decorations selling here?
Very well, like nearly sold out everything.
So people are celebrating in a big way.
Yes, very big, and every year getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
In China, the country's entire population of 1.4 billion people are given 7 days off to celebrate. Here in Australia, they celebrate with a passion.
So why is it so important? Why is it so significant? Professor Jing Han is a prominent Chinese academic.
Firstly, Chinese New Year is the first festival of the whole year. So anything first is the most important. Secondly, we also call it a spring festival because the spring is the most important season of the whole year. And thirdly, Chinese New Year is the opportunity for family, for friends, for relatives to get together.
Many Chinese people choose to dress up. Ying Lu, an accomplished musician, is one of them.
For Chinese New Year, it's very special for me. And normally on the Chinese New Year, I dress my Chinese qipao. This is like a modified short version of qipao. Normally it's a long one. So, but this one is special. Friend just gave it to me.
The exact date varies every year and starts on the first day of the new moon after January 21. Festivities kick off on the eve of the Lunar New Year, starting with the Lion Dance. The celebrations we're following are in Sydney's Chinatown. Dixon Street is absolutely packed, and there they are, 6 dancers wearing the lion outfit. These dancers need to be very fit. They've trained hard, as Calvin Poon testifies.
So, Calvin, you're the lead dancer.
I try to be, yes.
What do you do?
So we kind of move the head around to, entertain the crowd, and usually we go out and look for red pockets.
Hard work?
Oh, it can be, definitely can be, over a long time, yes.
And what sort of practice, what sort of training?
Sometimes we get around on the weekend, kind of just going through all the moves and stuff like that. And then we also have our instrumentals and stuff like that. So we try to keep it, all together.
Down Dixon Street they parade, the crowds parting as they approach. It's mayhem, bedlam. But it's what the crowds have come to experience. Heady celebrations to launch 2 intense weeks of festivities. It's not just the line dancers performing. This group of ladies in blue go through their dance routine. If you're lucky enough to book a seat in a Chinatown restaurant, there's another line dance performing. Graham Tom and his wife have come to eat and celebrate.
Graham, you enjoying?
Having a ball, absolute ball. Love Chinese New Year. Every year we come to Chinatown, or special Chinese restaurants. We love the dragon, and it's just fantastic. It's just the atmosphere and the people. We missed it for 2 years, but we're back.
So, Graham, I see you feeding a red envelope into the mouth of that dragon. What's the significance of that?
Good luck, prosperity.
Good luck and prosperity. Has it brought you that before?
Yep. Look at the beautiful woman I'm with.
The Chinese New Year features a new animal every year. 12 animals in rotation. This year, it's the year of the rabbit, and there's plenty of rabbit symbols everywhere. In Darling Harbour, the rabbit symbols come in the form of inflatable rabbits of all shapes and all sizes.
And to wrap up a tremendous evening of New Year's Eve celebrations, fireworks here at Darling Harbour.
Packed crowds line the foreshore, looking skywards to a spectacular fireworks show. The highlight, 2 illuminated jetpacks performing aerial acrobatics over the water.
Next, a traditional Chinese lunch to celebrate the new year.
We've travelled to Lake Macquarie, north of Sydney, to meet the Zhu family. There to greet us, Da Zhangzhu, his wife Changhua, granddaughter Shamina, daughter Shasha and her husband Michael, with his mum and partner behind. So it's a mixed family. Michael, the Aussie software engineer, is tasked with putting up the traditional red decorations. Red symbolises good luck and prosperity. Then it's time to prepare the dumplings. Da Changju has the honour of rolling the pastry. Shamina joins in and Shasha adds the filling, a blend of beef, onion and carrot.
On Chinese New Year, die night, we have to make it. If we're not making it, that is not New Year Eve.
These dumplings symbolise the end of the old year and start of the new one. By eating the dumplings, you're sending away the old and welcoming the new. Time then to be seated. Out comes the Mao Tai, a rice wine that really gets the party underway. Well fueled, the atmosphere picks up. Clearly this is a very happy occasion. This day is the equivalent of Christmas Day. Food is so important at these family get-togethers. There's a mix of Chinese and Western dishes today.
Yes, it's a multicultural here because like my mother-in-law's partner is from Fiji, so it's a little bit like an island culture here. I enjoy that. I mean, all the bush, all the sighting, yes, very nice.
One very special treat is the red envelope for Shasha's 2 daughters.
Yeah, that is a traditional part of Chinese culture. Like every kid, when they were little, and they can get the money from older generation. I remember when I was little, I received lots of red envelopes from my different aunties, uncles, and we just calculate how much money we get every year, every spring, Chinese New Year. Yeah, and then parents just save it up for us to use when we want to.
Happy Chinese New Year! Granddad Da Changju winds up the party with a burst of song.
This is part of me. I grew up 22 years in China. That's what shaped me. I'm Chinese. No matter how many years I live here, I'm a Chinese.
Chinese New Year, a very special family time.
Next, the dragon boat races. 3 big days of events here on Darling Harbour.
More than 200 dragon boats are taking part, with more than 4,000 paddlers. This boat is filled with women who are breast cancer survivors. Day 1 is the opening, starting with an Aboriginal smoking ceremony. Nicola Frauen is president of Dragon Boats New South Wales.
This is the biggest Lunar New Year festival we have had in the Southern Hemisphere for many years, absolutely.
So things have been quiet during COVID restrictions, but now big 3 days of festivities.
Absolutely. We've got 170 crews racing tomorrow. We've got over 40 corporations racing on Sunday as part of the corporate challenge. It's really big this year. We've not seen numbers like this for a while, so it's really encouraging to see post-COVID everybody wanting to get back in the boat, everyone wanting to to be part of a team again and getting back into their sport.
So 170 boats, you say, taking part. Now that's a lot. How do you got heats, you got finals?
It is, yes, for the sports crews on Saturday. They have heats, 2 heats, and then hopefully a final if they get in.
So what is it? What is it about dragon boat racing? What's the thrill?
It's the camaraderie, I think. There's a big adrenaline rush. It's a quick sprint race. There's a big adrenaline rush to get to the end. There's lots of drums beating. There's lots of people shouting. But that whole team spirit that comes with dragon boat racing is quite unique and quite special. And once you've done your first race, you are addicted. And a lot of people, that's how we get them in. They've got to race.
Next day, it's race day with a formidable collection of races. Amongst the teams assembled is the Dragon Sports Association, DSA, with their president, Felix Hamilton.
So we train on Tuesday night and Thursday night and also Sunday mornings out from Parramatta River in Rhodes. But we also have the outrigger Canoe 6 training from Drummoyne, and we do long distance all the way to Harbour Bridge every Saturday morning. I started in late 2018, so about 3 years now, 3 years and a half, not too long ago.
Why dragon boat racing? Why do you do it?
It's ultimate team sports. A lot of people might think that dragon boat racing is just about arms movement, but actually it's not. It's the entire body movement. It's your core muscles, your arms, your leg drives, and also your mentality as well. You need to be in there as one, and your mindset should be your top notch. It's really about mental fitness the moment you get into the boat.
Felix competes in the DSA all-women's team. There they are, stroking furiously. In the DSA all-men's team is Matty Loon, demonstrating how to wield his paddle.
The movement we're doing there is quite a fast movement, but we're setting up like this, and we're using our top hand to push down as hard as we can to get that drive in the water. So it's all mostly top hand and no bottom hand.
Well, you're certainly getting the drive because the time there is what? You're doing a 200-metre course in, what, 44 seconds or so?
About that, yeah, at about a 80 rate, 80 per minute, 80 strokes.
Matty and his dragon boat mates have had real success today. They've stroked hard in the semi-final to qualify in the finals. It's a powerful start. Out of the gate they're leading, but no, they're running out of puff.
Yeah, we had 3 amazing strokes at the start, and then we blitzed through it.
So you're blitzing through it. We're looking at you. You're leading, you guys.
We were leading, yeah, unfortunately, but we just kind of ran out of steam by the end of it.
So you've just done a heat before that. You're into the finals. You get almost to the finishing line, but you seem to run out of puff.
Yeah, just by the very end of it. But yeah, we're very happy with our overall performance.
A win today was not to be, but it was certainly adrenaline-pumping action to celebrate this, the Year of the Rabbit.
Next day, it's New Year's Day proper, and we've come to a temple, a Buddhist temple, which is the biggest in Australia, the Nantian Temple, just out of Wollongong, New South Wales, where there's a series of ceremonies, concluding with a huge blessing ceremony.
Once again, the day kicks off with the lion dance, the lion being the symbol of wisdom and power in Chinese culture. More than 1,000 people have come to the temple today to watch this and take part in the celebrations.
Just how significant is today? How big a day is it for you?
Oh, it's probably the biggest day of the whole year, isn't it? It signifies how the whole year is going to be. We've got a good day today. The whole year is going to be really good.
And all the family members are together. Because this is the Chinese culture, and this is traditional for like more than 5,000 years.
But it's the major event today that has taken us to the main shrine. Today it's packed for a blessing ceremony. The Venerable Miao Yo explains proceedings.
The Nantian Temple was established back in the early 1990s.
Yes.
And we opened our doors to the public in 1995. So we have been around for about 28 years. People come from all over Sydney to visit the Nantian Temple. And we got people from like Melbourne and even New Zealand and Singapore.
there's a temple bell to be rung, a practice that's said to gladden the heart of immortals and stop ghosts from doing evil. Many visitors burn incense sticks, a centuries-old tradition that's said to sanctify the space.
The offering of the incense is part of their respect to the Buddha. So they offer the first incense of the new year to the Buddha. And that's why so many people want to come on the first day of the new year. And so when they offer the incense, they are hoping that the new year would be auspicious and the Buddha will bless them.
Likewise, candles are a traditional part of the Buddhist ritual.
We're seeing the candles behind us. We're seeing a lot of candles that have been lit.
Well, the candle is the light, isn't it? So they light the candle, in a way they're lighting up the light of their own lives. So the light symbolizes giving you clarity, direction and wisdom.
One tradition observed today is the red ribbon carrying a message. Those messages are often written in Chinese calligraphy and thrown onto a symbolic red tree.
Whatever they wish for, like success in their career or health or in their studies or in relationships. And so they will pick the correct calligraphy ribbon and then they will throw it up in that wishing well tree and they just leave it there. And so maybe their wish will come true very quickly.
The blessing ceremony lasts for more than 1 hour, followers kneeling and praying repeatedly. There's also a transfer of gifts, bowls of fruit from the worshippers to Buddha. Red envelopes with messages are handed to the followers by the monks.
We give them the red envelope, and in the red envelope, it's just a blessing from the Buddha. So they might have a phrase to say, we hope that you have lots of love, peace, and harmony in your life. So that's a blessing.
Chinese New Year's Day at the Nantian Temple, an ancient tradition that still resonates strongly to this day.
Music is so big a part of Chinese culture, no bigger a part in Chinese Lunar New Year. Here we're celebrating at Canada Bay for the Rhodes Musical Festival.
They're calling it the Rabbit by the River Lunar New Year, a 2-day festival that has entertainment for both kids and adults alike. Singers and dancers perform on the soundstage after months of hard preparation. Introducing performers today is local businesswoman Jing Hong.
Jane, what's happening here today?
Oh, we are celebrating Lunar New Year with everyone.
So many dancers, many singers.
Yes. Tai Chi performance, dance performance from different communities, so yeah.
You have a lot of talent here around Rhodes.
Yes, we have quite many groups here. We have Chinese group, we have Korean groups. We are very fortunate to have all different kinds of groups joining us today to celebrate.
What does Chinese New Year mean to you?
It means reunion and celebrating and hope for a bright future.
One of the organisers is Susan Tang, Deputy President of the Rhodes Multicultural Community Association. She's about to sing in their choir. She's a true songbird.
太阳下山，明早依旧爬上来。太阳。
The Rabbit by the River Lunar New Year, a local celebration that mirrors thousands of similar shows all over Australia.
So we've enjoyed a traditional Chinese celebration. Now for something even more modern, even more sophisticated. It's going to end up on this beautiful cruiser, but first of all, the party, the new party.
I'm being greeted today by party hosts Jing'er Zhang and Aussie husband Robbie Gilchrist. First up, a welcoming cup of tea.
Chinese New Year is about family and a friend and a unity, drawing the heart together through a cup of tea.
So you start with that. You're starting with the tea. We're watching the tea celebration there. You're pouring the tea, herbal tea, some good herbal mixes.
Yeah, we feel East and West meet in a cup of tea, and that is our common language to start a real conversation.
Jing'er and Robbie have invited a dozen guests to their Sydney Harbour apartment this afternoon. There's a delicious assortment of snacks for them to enjoy. Sweet and savoury. A very special gathering. So what does Chinese Lunar New Year mean to Jing'er?
Friendship, love, generosity, sincerity,
A great way
beauty.
Beauty.
Yeah,
a great way to
beauty.
start the year.
Yeah, timeless, all tea.
Husband Robbie observes that it's all part of Chinese culture going back some 5,000 years.
I think it's a chance for all of these guys to get together in Australia and, live a bit of their own culture again from a historical point of view. They all did this as kids, so it's still an extended family culture in China even now. A lot of filial respect as well. Kids look up to their parents, come and visit every Sunday, and they're still much of a unit. Something like my mother's or grandmother's family would have been.
Among the activities this afternoon, paper cutting, with guests invited to cut rabbit shapes. Then it's gift time. Two ladies here today were born in the year of the rabbit, with another guest, Professor Jing Han, explaining the significance.
This or red socks because it's something you wear every day. The red conquered the ink to protect them and to fend off any evil luck.
To wrap up this day, a champagne cruise on Sydney Harbour. Champers at sunset, marking the end of a wonderful New Year celebration.
The Sydney Town Hall venue tonight for some very impressive Chinese performers, musicians, singers and dancers for this Gala Chinese Lunar New Year concert. Come, let's enjoy.
They're warming up. This is classical harpist Leah Dark.
I'm in 6 numbers tonight.
Yes.
A lovely mix of Western and beautiful Chinese music.
The concert harp, very impressive instrument.
Yes, it certainly is. It's very large, but very versatile. Fits in beautifully.
And in terms of training, getting on top of this, learning to play it, how long did it take you?
Well, I started learning when I was about 8 years old, so I've been playing for over 30 years now. And you get better as you go along and get more experience, yes.
And then it's concert time. You're watching the Willoughby Symphony Orchestra. The first number they're performing is the Spring Festival Overture, composed by Chinese maestro Li Huangshu. Concert organiser is Cindy Sin. She promises we're in for a wonderful night of performances.
So what are we seeing tonight? What range of performances are we seeing?
Okay, so the Willoughby Symphony Orchestra, led by the Australian conductor George Ellis, with talented Australian Chinese vocalists, instrumentalists, Chinese folk instrumentalists, to present a whole variety of Chinese and Western songs. Some are classical, some are more contemporary.
Many solo acts are supporting the orchestra and choir tonight. Have you ever heard the two-string erhu played as skillfully as Tu Chang Zhang plays tonight? Then there's Jing Feng on the Yangqin. And closer to camera, Christina Zhao on a wind instrument known as the sheng. One of the star performers tonight is acclaimed soprano Kathy de Jong.
So you're performing normally with the...
At the Opera House down the road.
What would you prefer, Opera House or Sydney Town Hall?
I like both, because concerts you get the orchestra on stage.
Yes.
In the Opera House they have to stay in the pit, which isn't so nice. So here we're all on stage together.
So tell us, tonight you've got a solo.
Yes, I'll be singing a Chinese song, a classical Chinese song, and a Puccini favourite, which is the most famous aria in all of opera, and the Brindisi, the drinking song with my colleague Altian at the end. But this is great in front of my mum and all of this Chinese crowd, and to sing something in my mother tongue as well.
Backing up the orchestra are the 60 voices of the Yellow River Chorus. And conducting tonight, George Ellis. He conducted the Sydney Symphony Orchestra at the opening of the Olympic Games in Sydney in the year 2000. All in all, a marvellous evening of stellar performances. The Lunar New Year's concert. Impressive.
And to wrap up Chinese Lunar New Year, after 2 weeks of heady celebrations, we have a parade right through the streets of Chatsworth.
This evening's marchers have spent the past year preparing. 300 people are taking part, 20 different groups, all organised by Willoughby City Council. Out front, 2 golden glittering rabbits and big crowds watching on. It's a highly colourful conclusion to Chinese Lunar New Year.